Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to the channel. I am Melly and this is Imbody Tarot, and in today's tarot card reading we are going to figure out what you don't see about yourself but others do. As you can see, we do have 4 piles for you to choose from, and each pile is accompanied by a crystal. Pile 1 resonates with this beautiful clear quartz. Pile 2 resonates with this Celestite. Pile 3 resonates with this beautiful Chalcedony. And pile 4 resonates with this beautiful Lepidolite. In order for you to find the message that's from you, from your higher self, or what you need to know right now in this moment, I want you to focus your energy on the piles, and whatever pile immediately sticks out to you, that is the message for you. In some cases, you could be attracted or drawn to more than one pile, and that's perfectly fine. All that means is that you have multiple messages that's for you in those piles. Once you find the crystal or pile that you want to hear a message from, I did list the timestamp in the comment section and in the description box. So all you have to do is press the timestamp to get to your reading as quickly as possible. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your reading. And today we are going to figure out what you don't see about yourself, but others do. I see that you chosen the clear quartz, and automatically with your energy, I feel like you don't realize how much you master things. People see your talents. People find you as an all-around, well put together person. And it's like you're the go-to people that people go to when they need answers. You're able to magnify things. You're able to cut through all the BS. You're straight to the point. I feel like people really adore you and they really appreciate your analytical skills. They see that you are able to function under high, stressful, pressured environments. And oftentimes you don't see that about yourself. People respect you because you are able to make them show up for themselves. You make people feel very comfortable. You make people see themselves in the best lights. You reflect people's ability to be ambitious. You reflect people's ability to see their worth. You reflect their ability for them to be a leader all around. So the thing so far, based on this energy of the crystal, that you don't see about yourself is that you make people feel extremely comfortable, but at the same time, at what cost, at what risk? And I feel like that's probably something that you're going through right now, trying to rediscover who you are as a person and how you show up. How does your light magnify within a room, and how you could not dim your light to make other people feel better about themselves. So let's get into the tarot and let's see what your higher self has to say about your reading. Okay, Spirit, pile one wants to know what others see about them that they don't see about themselves. What is it that pile number 1 don't see about themselves that others do? Okay. So we have the 7 of Swords in reverse, we have the 10 of Swords in reverse, and then we have the 2 of Wands upright. I think that people see you as a person who's able to make tough decisions, and you don't give up quickly. You don't let your situation and life define who you are. People see that you are very resilient and you're able to think things through. You don't act on emotions for the most part. You really sit there and you process what is going on from different angles. You basically give yourself the opportunity to have a bird's eye view of what's going on. You're not the type of person to choose sides. And if you do, you're very logical. You're very fair. So if you find 2 friends are arguing, you'd rather be the person who sits it out and lose both friends in the process than to pick one friend over the other, which indicates that people really appreciate your loyalty. You don't realize how much you stand up for the people who really matters in your life and who cares about you. The 2 of Wands energy is the energy of thinking things through. When we see the Wands, it represents communication, desires, passion, and 2 represents duality. So people really love the fact that you are able to think things through, but also you are very passionate about the things and the people who are around you. You really put a lot of focus and intentions on who you have entering your life. You don't let people who don't have the best energy to come around you. Just like how you inspire a lot of people by the masses, a lot of people are inspired by you. People look at you as a role model for the most part. People see you as the spark of them becoming a better person. When we see the Two of Wands energy, it's an energy of forward movement. It's the thought of what I could go, where I could go. And if you look at this card, the Two of Wands is showing a compass, right? So, and people love the fact that you feel aligned and they feel spiritually aligned when it comes to you also. I feel like people really appreciate and they really see that you are the rose that grew from concrete. People really enjoy the fact that you have a testimony and you don't let no one take away your joy. Even if you're sad, you always have a poker face. And you don't realize that your poker face is your best defense because it's not easy to get access to you. You made people realize and understand that access to you is a privilege and it costs. And it costs a lot. You're willing to meet people halfway, but you will not lower your standards to get somebody where they need to be at. They have to come with your A game because that's what you do. That's what you're attracting. You're attracting people of quality at this point in your life. Okay. When we see the Ten of Swords in reverse, it's the energy of unwilling to let go, going through the motion for the most part. It's the idea of an ending that is not complete. So I feel like you're always the one to retell the story. And you don't tell the story in a way where you are hurt or damaged or in a lot of pain. You tell the story from a resilience type of perspective. This happened, but it would not defeat me type of thing. You turn situations that's supposed to break you into lessons, and then you take those lessons, you probably monetize it, or you spread the gospel in the sense of you let people learn from your mistakes, right? They always say that a wise man learns from others' mistakes, right? And I feel like you are very wise beyond your years, and what makes you unique, you don't realize about yourself, is that you observe other people's process and you ask yourself, how can I make it better? And I feel like you do this subconsciously. The Swords energy is the energy of thought, right? It's how you process things, how you analyze things. And the 10 energy, it's things has ended. And it's just like, do I want to evolve with this completion or do I want to stay in this moment? With you, it's always evolution. So you don't really see your self evolving over time. It takes you like a very long time to see how far you have came. So I feel like for you, you're so focused on living in the moment that sometimes you don't realize your potential and what has happened over time because you're so stuck on me in this moment right now. With the Ten of Swords energy, with the Seven of Swords energy, usually upright, it indicates a person that's very sneaky, but in reverse, it's showing me that you are very strategic and you focus on honesty. Your integrity is what people really appreciate you. The fact that you could be very direct, very forward, people trust that and people appreciate that. People really value your ability to cut through all the drama. You know, you call a spade for the most part, but you do it in a way where people feel very comfortable. It's not you're being sneaky or deceptive. It's the fact that you're able to let people understand their position and how that could affect the entire situation. Okay? People see you as a very strategic person. You know, they see you as a person who's not one track minded. They see you as a person who will see things, the pros, the cons, like you balance things out so evenly. When we see the number 7, we think about heavenly connection. So I feel like you make a lot of spiritual connection with people. And I feel like you have a lot of deja vu moments in your life that you haven't realized yet. But so far, what people see in you that you don't see about yourself is your ability to be, is your energy to have duality, for you to be flexible, for you to be resilient, for you to hold on to things that really matters to you, and for you to always think things through. Because this is all thoughtful process and energies that's coming up right now. Let's get some more cards. So let's see, how do you show up in relationships? How does Pile 1 show up in relationships that they're not aware of? Ooh. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. People see you as an opportunity, a beautiful opportunity, right? When we see the Ace card, it's usually an indicator of new beginnings, right? We are planting a seed that could develop in anything. So people see you within a relationship as a person who's able to develop, and you're willing to do the groundwork, right? When we see pentacles, that's usually the things that we need in life, stability. It's very interesting that we do have a heart in the cloud and we talk about relationships. So I feel like you could be a lot of people's first love, or you teach people, you show up as people, or you come to people's life when they need to love themselves more. So within relationships, you bring a new fresh start, a new fresh beginning when it comes to stability, self-care, self-love. You bring real love, real attention that people want and need in their life at the moment. How does pile 1 show up in relationships? The Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords usually indicates a tough decision, not having all the details, but you need to make a decision right now, being very spontaneous. You show up as a person who's very strategic and will not buffer or move, or you won't sacrifice your integrity and having options. You don't do well when it comes to ultimatums. So people cannot come and threaten you and make you feel bad about yourself or what you've been doing. People in relationships with you see you as a person who they have to be fair with. You don't really react to hissy fits and drama and sadness for the most part. You're very direct, okay? What do people see in you that you don't see about yourself? You will fight for your relationship. You will not let anybody do anything wrong and go over on you. You are the first line defense. You are the rock. You are people's backbone. You know your worth, because the Seven of Wands energy, it is tension, but honestly, it's a tension between yourself. You're trying to figure out, what role do I play? So you are the defender, the gatekeeper within a relationship. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Devil card, which indicates that people are extremely attracted to you, right? People like your attention in the bedroom. People find you very sexy, okay? The Devil card is an energy of addiction, codependency for the most part. But for your case, people are drawn to you extremely easy. And I think that people see, like, you know what? If I could get close to you, I have the dream life that I always wanted. You're very spontaneous. You live life on the edge. Even though you're very cautious, you do have this energy of living life on the edge, okay? What else? What's the last message when it comes to relationship? The Four of Cups. Oftentimes, you could feel very detached, right? But this energy could be that you're very selective with who you have within your relationships. So people may come to you because they see what you do for others and they're just like, I will get more. But you're just like, no, I'm not going to give you my energy. I'm not going to make you feel loved if I don't feel loved. So you're very selective when it comes to your emotions and who you get attached to. People may not like the fact that you don't give in to relationships as easily. So even though you're fun and people find you as a high value person, I also feel like people hate the fact that it's so hard to get close to you. It's like there's always something missing. People are always trying to lurk to figure out what's going on, right? So people love the fact that you are very unapproachable, in the sense of, just because you think you have access to me, that doesn't mean you know me. It's always who's the real you type of energy. So emotionally, you keep yourself guarded, you protect your emotions, but also you're very stoic, right? You process life through a very thoughtful type of energy, lots of philosophies for the most part, okay? Anything else? How does pile 1 show up for themselves and they don't realize it, but others do? Let's see, on an everyday basis. We have the Four of Swords. And then we have the King of Wands. You know how to, when I say this word, I'm not saying this in a way of something bad, right? You're going to use the good energy of it. You know how to manipulate things to go your way. You're very charming. You radiate this energy of like happiness. The King of Wands is a person who is able to get people to do what they want very easily, right? But when it's in reverse, it's not the best way, the best approach to make that happen, right? So I feel like people see you as a person who is a jack of all trades but a master of none. But at the same time, they appreciate your ability to, social climb, network, and get things that you want. You don't take no for an answer, not in a bad way, right? You realize what people weak, quote unquote, weak spots are, and you capitalize on it. But it's not your fault that you're a goal-getter, you're a shark. It's definitely not your fault. And at the bottom of the deck, we also have the Emperor card. And the Emperor card is a signifier of a boss energy. People see you as a great leader, a person who have their stuff together, a person that's very resourceful, a person who is respected not only by their peers, their subordinates, but also their leaders. People want to be in your position, want to be in your shoes, but they haven't realized what it takes to get you there. They just see the end result. So I feel like what you don't see about your life that others do is that you have a purpose. You bring light to a room. You make people feel good. You make people feel like they're their best authentic self. And also there's a high possibility you're an entrepreneur, and you kind of like dim that at times. So pile number one, that's what I have for you. I hope I was able to give you some clarity, guys, and confirmation with this reading. If you'd like to go deeper, I do provide private readings, and the information will be in the description box. Until next time, remember who loves you. Bye. Hello, pile two. Welcome to your reading. And in today's figure card reading, we are going to figure out what you don't see about yourself, but others do. I did see that you did choose the Celestite, and usually with the Celestite energy, this is an energy of tranquility, peace, and angelic. So I feel like people see you as a healer. They see you as a person who provides peace and freedom in their life. They see you as a person who makes the world a better place. It's just like you want people to have a reason to live, right? You show people that, living for tomorrow is worth it. Some of y'all could be counselors that pick this group, or you may have one in a life that you could have been a mental health personnel, or be in the hospitality type of industry some way, some form, or you just want to educate people. So people see you as an angelic force within the world, and they see you as the person who's able to bring world peace for the most part, a mediator of some sort. Okay, so let's see what your higher self has to say about this energy. What is it that pile two don't see about themselves, but others do? We have the Two of Pentacles. We have the King of Cups. We have the Lovers. Let's get one more. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. Ooh, amazing. So overall, what you don't realize about yourself that others do is that you are a master manifester, okay? You are able to probably manifest money or opportunities very easily. And people see that you always come around them with a very youthful and happy and fun energy. It's just like you give them the reason to live a very youthful and happy life. When we see the Page of Pentacles, the person who knows how to act on the things that they want. It's the energy of you are wise beyond your years, right? Pentacles represents security. It represents your career, your finances, the things that you need when it comes to living, right? The physical things that you need, right? And the Page energy is a very young person within a family, right? So people see that you have this ability, even though you're young, even though you may feel like you're inexperienced, you still have just enough to get what you need. You are a hustler. They see you as a person who is able to get the opportunities that they need to move forward. You're always pushing through. You're always going over and beyond. And people don't understand how you're able to do it, and they're very intrigued by it. People always also see you as a person who knows to communicate effectively. We do have the Lovers card, and Lovers card energy is the energy of choices. The Lovers card is ruled by Mercury and is associated with Virgo and Gemini energy. When you think of Mercury energy, you think about communication, right? And also, Mercury is the planet that is really in sync with the moon, right? So emotionally, I feel like you are able to articulate your feelings well. You also know how to conceal it well also, for the most part. You're very thoughtful, you're very thorough, you're very intuitive, extremely intuitive. And I feel like people see that you are able to make decisions quick, not because of your experience or lack thereof. More so, you just have a natural gift of jab. You're just natural at everything in your life for the most part. The Lover's card is also represented by 6, and in numerology, 6 represents birth, and it also represents moving on, right? Because we have 5, which is tension and chaos. Something happened that cause a change in your life or a change within you, and 6 is where you make the decision. Either you go left, right? You're not going to stand still. So you are able to pivot very easily, intuitively, when you need to. And on this card, we do have the motto for Jamaica, and it says, out of many, one people. So even though you are a person that may not have the best background for the most part, you're able to attract a lot of people who people are usually don't associate with. So you may have a very diverse friend group, or you may diversify your portfolio when it comes to like your work experience, your dating life. It's just that you're able to bring a lot of people from different backgrounds. So you are able to cultivate a community that is very diverse, and people love that about you. You are like a mixing pot, a soup. Like everything just always go together, no matter how different things is. With the King of Cups energy, this is the energy of controlled emotions, right? So you may feel a lot of feelings, but people won't know it, right? The King of Cups energy is a person who has mastered their emotions for the most part. So people may feel like you're very strict when it comes to your feelings, or people may feel like you don't really show much feelings. But it's not the fact that you don't feel your feelings, the fact that you're just very reserved. You're like, what's the point of me showing you this? Did you earn it? Is it something that I really want to show? For the most part, if it's not, it's not. So people see you as a person who could make people feel well within whatever aspect or feeling that they're feeling at the time. And that's because you have mastered your emotions for the most part. So you're forcing people to also master theirs. When we see the King of Cups, we're seeing a person who, not saying that they're detached, but a person can't just come to you crying and you're like automatically on their side. People cannot emotionally manipulate you for the most part, or they have a hard time, right? The King of Cups energy is an energy that I would lead with care, because King is leadership, right? And it's also an energy of masculinity, right? And usually masculinity is just like, let's just do the groundwork, right? Where Queen energy is very like loving and charming. So I feel like you are very fair and impartial when it comes to making everybody feel good about themselves or the situation for the most part. You bring peace to people. You bring an energy of royalty. You know, people feel appreciated when they're around you. And then the Two of Pentacles energy, this is the energy of flow. So you never stop going. And people love the fact that you're a motivator. And it's not like you're on a hamster wheel. Everything that you do is very intentional. And it's intentional because you give yourself opportunities. So it's just like, okay, this doesn't work, I'm going to try this way. When we see the energy of 2, it represents duality, right? And also represents choices. So you have a lot of energy of choices within your reading. And the Pentacles, like I said before, is the energy of like financial stability. It's also your career, right? So you're probably a good negotiator for the most part, as well as a mediator. So people really appreciate your skills to look at things from 2 different perspectives and, you know, find opportunity within both. You're not going to let go of an opportunity no matter what, unless you try it and it didn't work. And when it didn't work, you have exalted the energy of it not working. Okay, so let's just see how you show up in relationships, which you don't see about yourself within relationships, but others do. We do have the Fool card. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Wands. You're very well-rounded. You have the High Priestess. You have the Hermit. Interesting. Okay, well, not interesting, but interesting. And then we have the Star card. Oh, we do have the Queen of Cups. It did come out. And the Page of Cups. Oh, so we're just missing the Knight of Cups. I wonder why. Actually, let's put... Ooh, I'm over here making a mess. Okay, so when it comes to a relationship, people see you as a person who could sometimes be extremely independent, hyper independence. You want your space, right? You don't want people to be too attached to you. You have this energy of people need to come healed before they approach you. You also have this energy of you may attract a lot of karmic relationships. You may have a lot of soul tie with people. So you really appreciate your independence within relationships. You come off as a very innocent type of person because the Fool card is innocence, right? A person who lacks experience. And this may be the result of you not really being in a lot of meaningful relationships for the most part. And I feel like people see you as a person who they could spend the rest of their life with for the most part, or a person who will be a great person to raise children with. However, it's just like you may feel like you haven't found the one yet, right? Or let's just say you're saving yourself for something. People see as a person who capitalize on relationships in the sense of it needs to have an equal give and take. And it doesn't always have to be 50-50. It could be 60-40. But what it won't be 20-80. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It will not be 99-1. No, it needs to stay within that 60-40 range. You know, if you're sick, it could be 70-30 for the most part, but we're not pivoting after that, okay? People see you as a person who's very defensive for the most part. You will, you know, give everything that you have. You won't back down when it comes to a relationship. So not to say you're confrontational, but you're very determined. With the Hermit card, it's like you're an elder for the most part. You seek solitude when you're dealing with your problems, or you seek solitude. You're very extremely private. You don't let everybody know your business. And then we have the Star card, which is healing, Aquarius energy. So when it comes to a relationship, you're very intuitive, and you're also an energy of innovation for the most part. People see you as a person who heals. You know, you're very strong for the most part. You're very forgiving. You know, you don't let people go very easily. You stick around for a while for the most part until you realize that you have exhausted your person, your energy. This definitely gives a lot of energy of Virgo energy for the most part. We have Virgo right here, and then we have Virgo energy right here, and then we have Virgo energy right here also. So I feel like people see you as a person who needs time to themselves, not because you're being rude to anybody, but because you realize that you are your best self when you're able to recharge. We also did have the Queen and Page of Cups. I would say we're missing the Knight of Cups energy. And the Knight of Cups energy is usually a love offer or a romantic gesture or a good gesture that people are unable to turn down. So I feel like sometimes you give honey with medicine, meaning that they think they're getting something sweet, but it's a reality check. For the most part, the Page of Cup energy is an energy of happiness, it's bliss, it's youthful, like la 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 la. It's very dreamlike for the most part. You're able to manifest relationships very easily to work in your favor. And then the Queen of Cups energy is you give a very nurturing, loving energy. And I feel like you've learned that not everybody's able to access this from you. So you keep your distance, you keep your guard for the most part. But I think that people feel like you don't always trust yourself, you know, and maybe that's the energy of you holding on a little bit longer than you should. But Spirit is saying that your energy radiates hyper independence because you are probably the go-to person everybody go to. You're the master of a lot of things within your life for the most part. It's very interesting that you are missing air energy. And even though we have air energy right here and right here, it's major lessons, and air energies usually think, okay, how you analyze things. So maybe you overthink things, you blame yourself a lot, or you're too focused on precision, execution. So I would say that, you know, room for improvement will be your ability to, you know, communicate speak things through, but also recognize that you don't always have to be the strongest warrior, the strongest player at all times. It's okay for you to be happy, but it's okay for you to express yourself too. Your feelings are valid, your thoughts are valid, and we need to hear more of that. You don't always have to lead with emotions and intuitiveness. Sometimes it's okay for you to be very logical. Okay? So that's what I have for you, pile number 2. Thank you for being the angel in everybody's life, and of course, your life. And if you are inclined to get to know more about yourself via tarot, I do offer private readings, and information will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, remember who loves you. Mwah! Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. And in today's book card reading, we are going to figure out what you don't see about yourself that other people do, okay? I did see that you chose the Apophyllite with red Chalcedony. And people see you as the know-it-all, right? A person who is extremely qualified in a lot of things, in all aspects of their life. People see you as a person who is able to pivot and get where they need to be because they are very flexible. So your energy for people that you don't see about yourself is an energy of you have made it. People see you as the standard. And even though you feel like you have more to go through and more for you to do, people will really wish like your bare minimum is their exceeding the standards. But your energy is, I have made it. That's what people see about you that you don't see about yourself. And you are self-made, okay? So let's see the tarot from your higher self. What is that about pile number 3 that they don't see about themselves that others do? The Temperance card. You're adventurous. We have Sagittarius energy here. You're an amazing negotiator. You equalize things. We have the Hierophant. We are not surprised because the Hierophant energy is the energy of leadership. Okay, it's energy of knowledge. It's a gatekeeper also. We do have the Star card. That's innovation. And then let's see one more card. We have the Ace of Swords. It is so interesting that you have 3 major arcanas and then 1 minor arcana. When we have 3 major arcanas, it's major lessons and shifts within our life. It's things that happen to us like a few years or few months, whereas the card that you have for your daily life is the Ace of Swords. So let's break it down. The Temperance card is the energy of a person who is able to balance their feelings and their thought process. It's a person who is intuitive. It's a person who seeks knowledge. So you could be a thinker, a philosopher for the most part, or you just enjoy learning. So they see you as a person who has a background that is extremely qualified because you're just smart. You're smart. You're extremely smart. People really admire your intelligence. People really admire the fact that you have like random facts that you could like spit out for the most part. With the Hierophant card, we have that you are a leader who is able to mentor. Okay, it's mentorship for the most part. You are the gatekeeper. You value the right things in life. Your morality is like top tier. For the most part. The Hierophant card is a person who is a great and amazing leader. Sometimes you will be stuck in your ways, but you're able to influence people through your leadership abilities. The Star card energy is Aquarius energy. So let's go back for a little bit. So we have Sag energy, we have Taurus energy, we have Aquarius energy, and then we have all the air signs energy, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So people see you as a person who is royalty with the Hierophant card. It's a person who is traditional, a person who is adventurous with the Temperance card. Even though you may come off as very poised, a person who is innovative, you are the boss for the most part, and a person who could think things through, very sharp. Okay, so people see you as a person who's just a dope leader. If I could be anybody in this world, I will be you. If I could have anybody in this world, I could be you. That's what people say about you. You are an influencer. And if you're not influencing, you need to at this point. Influence or mentor, because that's what you radiate right now. People appreciate your ability to be the people or the person that everybody wants to be, right? It's no surprise that you do have the Star card. And it's making me think of like the sky, right? At night, You always see all the stars. You illuminate, right? In darkness. You're always around when you're supposed to be. But people don't always see you when they look up because they get very distracted, right? So I feel like people really appreciate you the most when times are bad and when times are dark for the most part, but at the same time they appreciate your loyalty for always being around. So you're a very loyal person. You're always there, and if you're not there, they're always asking themselves, what would so and so do? So that's definitely your energy right now. Okay, so let's ask romantically, how do you show up? Okay, so how are you within relationships that you know about yourself but other people see you? How do you appear? Pile 3. How does pile 3 appear? So we have the Page of Cups. You are a dreamer. You give people the energy to feel good about themselves, for them to feel happy. The Page of Cups energy is giving Pisces type of vibe, whereas you are hyper focused on the things that make you feel happy. Even though you have the world around you, you're my number one. So your partner sees you as a person who always put them first. They don't have to negotiate, or they don't have to feel or beg for your love, right? You're not neglectful. As a matter of fact, you're just like, let's do this, let's do this. You always create experience that's memorable. And it also gives the energy of you are valued and worth it when it comes to love, right? Let's see what else pop up. How does pile 3 show up within relationship? They don't know about themselves, but others do. We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. We have the Queen of Cups upright. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Justice. And then we have the King of Cups. You are like the perfect partner. You match energy. You balance out energy. We do have the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. So you feel your feelings, you feel your partner's feelings, and of course they feel your feelings. So you match energy for all the good reasons for the most part. You know when to show up in a very loving manner, very caring manner, but you also know how to show up in a manner where you're able to detach. Okay? With a Justice card, I'm not surprised if a lot of people would like to marry you. You may not realize it, but a lot of people would have definitely walked on the aisle with you, or they regret not doing it. Some of y'all could be married at this point also, because we do have the Hierophant card, and that is commitment also. And this is the Justice card. For me, it represents marriage also. Both of these cards do. And they have a couple energy, happy energy. So I feel like you have met a lot of divine partners that was for you. A people who will grow you. I won't be surprised if you realize or you've made very meaningful connections with people who are part of your soul family, and you and them elevate spiritually for the most part. I'm not surprised that that's energy that you bring when it comes to relationships. You are very fair and impartial when it comes to love. You think things through. At times, you could be a people pleaser, but not in a bad way. You just want everybody to be happy, right? You want people to feel spontaneous, valued, and worth it. You don't act in a very spontaneous way. It has to make sense. It has to make sense for the most part. The Knight of Wands energy is a person who's ready to get up and go, looking for an adventure. So you're very intentional. That's your energy right there for the most part. And then we also have the 4 of Swords in reverse. You are open and willing for anything. The 4 energy is an energy of stability for the most part. It's an energy of we can build. It's an energy of Aces is new beginnings. 2s are usually like duality, bring things together. 3s are like we're celebrating something, for the most part. We're establishing structure. And then 4 is just like I have arrived. But it's also the calm before the storm. So I feel like when people are going through a hard time, you're able to calm, de-escalate things within relationships. And I feel like that's what your partner really appreciates about you. And the fact that you are a dreamer and you look at things from a very happy perspective, I feel like you come within a very secured attachment style, or you're trying to learn to have that attachment style for the most part. And I feel like your partner really appreciates that about you. I feel like there's more to your story that needs to be said. So let's dig some more and let's figure it out. What else does pile 3 need to know about themselves that they don't know but others do? We have the 3 of Cups. You have built a well-developed and happy community for the most part. You've cultivated an energy of let's just always celebrate. We're living life in the energy of everything happens for a reason, but it happens to our highest good. It happens to the best of us. We are all where we're supposed to be. People who are around you just love you for you, and they create the energy of we're doing things right. You know, let's see what else pop up. What else does pile 3 to know about what people see about them they don't see about themselves? We have the Judgment card. You are fair and impartial. You always finish the story. You're always there. The Judgment card is a card of forgiveness. So you probably teach people how to forgive, not just necessarily say forget, but you teach people how to move on from things. And you are a truthful, honest person. You're a person with integrity. You're a person who is happy and very successful and in a peace with themselves. So people see your ability to attract peace to yourself, attract peace to, you know, your surroundings, but also attract peace and gather people for them to be the best version of themselves. Okay. I feel like people trust your word in your experience, and people really value your ability to be honest and very direct. You know, you don't let people's past really affect what you have with them moving forward. So all around, it seems like you are a very dope person that people really like to be around because you make them feel happy. You know, you're not impulsive. You love love, but you love honesty. You love integrity. You love thoughtfulness. And you love the fact that you are a natural born leader. And guess what? I love this about you. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. If you want to get more into details about your energy specifically, I am offering readings. Information will be in the bio. And until next time, remember who loves you. Bye. Hello, pile 4. Welcome to your reading. In today's card reading, we are going to figure out what you don't see about yourself, but others do. Okay, by you choosing the Lepidolite, I feel like you have an energy of I am loyalty, I am royalty, I am the epitome of what people are supposed to be, right? So you're a role model for the most part. You have this energy of, you know, peace. You have this energy of being traditional. You have this energy of, you know, calm. And I feel like at times you may lead with your heart and you just really want everybody to feel happy in a very peaceful way, but you also push people to be their best self, but you do it in a very gentle way. So people see you in a very gentle manner. You're like the perfect, you know, mom. Aw, the perfect aunt. Aw, you're like the perfect grandma. Aw, you're like the perfect. You're like the coolest person ever. So people see you as a person who helps people, especially the younger crowd or the crowd who feels vulnerable, able to develop. You know, you rated the energy of you could be the best version of you if you don't compare yourself to other people. You know, so people see you as a stepping stone, but a stepping stone where they're willing to walk with you. Like they're not supposed to step on you, leave you alone. They're not gonna social climb with you for the most part. They see you as a person was willing to give, and they also want to give you back. You have this like an angel investor type of energy when it comes to you. It's very interesting that we have the 6 of Cups in reverse. We're going to turn it upright for your energy. You and people reminisce a lot. So you create a lot of beautiful memories with people, and it's always like good emotional ones. But I think that sometimes you may look at yourself and ask yourself, what if? So not only do you ask yourself what if, but you make people question their roles that they play. So you do a lot of internal work, which makes me think of you being very intuitive for the most part. And I feel like you do a lot of work when it comes to like either like abdominal breath for the most part. And it's not you trusting your intuition or your instinct. It's just something about your gut tells you how to move and you always follow it. So let's see, based on the cards from your higher self, pile 4, what is it that you don't see about yourself that others do? We have the Ten of Cups. We have the High Priestess. And then we have the Eight of Wands. So pile 4, I see that at times people see you as like the lone ranger, right? You do things, you more on the beach of your own good drum for the most part. You probably left home at an early age, or you probably have this need to be a part of a family, be a part of like a dynamic, a duo, a crew, or maybe you have a solid crew. I won't be surprised if you have or wanted to join the military. You could be a person who's probably a part of like a fraternity or a sorority, or maybe you're a part of this high ranking, high valued type of club for the most part, or a group. There's energy of group, like-minded energy that's popping up for you. And what that tells me is you value friendships and communities for the most part. You do have the High Priestess, which means that I think that you're extremely spiritual and you have a lot of spiritual knowledge for the most part, or people see you as a person who could help them through like their spiritual issues. So maybe you're a prayer warrior, maybe you're a seer, maybe you're a freaking medium, but you have a lot of spiritual gifts. That's amazing. You take things at face value, but you also go back to your experience. So people recognize the fact that you're able to make them see things from a very innocent perspective, and you're an amazing communicator. We do have the Eight of Wands. It represents cycles, right? Infinite cycles for the most part, and it does represent fast communication. So I feel like you're very quick on your feet. 6 usually represents birth of something for the most part, being able to transition to a better energy. 2 represents duality. Okay, it represents knowledge when it comes to the High Priestess, and 10 represents completion for the most part, and also represents abundance. It's more than enough. So I feel like people see you and you don't see yourself as a person who's able to cultivate a community that is abundant and full of life, and you guys are able to communicate very quickly, and it's very spiritual in nature for the most part. What else is it about pile 4 that they don't see about themselves but others do? We have the 2 of Pentacles. You negotiate well. You give options. We have the 8 of Cups. You may not always return to energies that doesn't belong to you for the most part, but you hold on to them. We have the Queen of Wands. So maybe you're not a forgiving person. Don't cross me. It's really strict over here. It's strict over here emotionally. And then with the 7 of Swords. So people probably see you as a person who they can't play with. Like I said, you're really freaking strict. Like the energy is don't mess with me. If you mess with me, you're not going to like it. And it's not like you purposely going to hurt other people. That's definitely not the energy. The energy is just like you will face the consequences of your action, and it won't be a me thing, and I won't validate it, you know? So you have to always rise to the occasion. You make people show up as their authentic self. And a lot of people are not able to face that truth. So they may slander your name through the ground, but people also realize that, you know what? Something happened, something is fishy. Let's not take the other person's word at face value. You have a very authentic, remarkable, strong, and regal reputation. And a lot of times people are envious of that, which make you feel like you cannot stay in spaces where you feel like you fit in at. So maybe you are like the quote unquote black sheep within your family or within your community. But all that means is that you are the outlier. You are the unique one. You are the one that's misunderstood, but that's not your responsibility. If people are purposely misunderstanding you, that's a reflection on them. And that's not a burden you're going to carry. And you are realizing that, you know what? Maybe I am God's strongest warrior, but I'm choosing not to. Sorry, God. But I feel like I deserve an easy life. And that's your energy, where it's just like, I'm not going to overwork myself just to get the bare minimum. You want everything that's owed to you, and you're going to collect it with tax. right? So you have this energy of luxury and not settling. Because why would you do that? Why would you do that? It makes no sense. And people may see you as very cold, or you may see yourself as very cold, but in reality, you're very loving, you're very nurturing, you're very innocent, you're very happy. And I feel like you give people too many chances, and that's what really affects you for the most part. So now you're just like, you know what, maybe I am cold, and I'm okay with that. Maybe I am strict, and I am okay with that. Maybe I am difficult, and that's your perspective. But either way, I'm okay with how I am and how I show up because I'm responsible for me. So you're like the one man army. You're like the one drummer boy. But it's just like, you know what? I know my value and I'm not going to lower myself to peasants. And I'm not calling other people peasants. But what I am saying is that I have a purpose in this world and I'm going to make sure it happens. So you don't always realize that you are moving 100 miles per hour, but that's because you're driven and you're disciplined and you're doing this on your own. Not because somebody has forced you to do it, not because somebody's telling you to do it, because you naturally are good at it and you want to do it. So your energy is very stoic for the most part. I'm not going to let anybody get over me because I know my value and I'll be damned if I lose it because of somebody else want to act up. Absolutely not. Okay. So let's figure out how you show up within your relationship that you don't realize about yourself, but others do. So when it comes to a relationship, how does pile 4 show up? The 3 of Cups. You love a good time. You like to celebrate. There's never a dull moment with you. You are the life of the party. You expect happy moments. And if it feels very slow and not supportive, you take yourself away. So you show up as a person who is very supportive of not only yourself, but others. And you are very helpful within your connection. What I think about when I see this arch for your energy is this energy of like wedding, happy, blissfulness, running off in the sunset. So I feel like you love a good time, but you love a good time in a very healthy manner, and you probably like a vacation. So you maybe make people feel like they are not struggling, but they're living a life that they deserve for the most part. I love this for you. Okay, how else do you show up in a relationship that you don't realize about yourself? Pal 4. We have the 7 of Pentacles. You could be very patient and you earn what you want within relationships. You just take things, you know. You play the long game. So you're very committed to your partner. And that's what your partner loves about you. We do have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So you may go through a lot of burnout energy. So you're very conservative with your energy for the most part. And that's nothing bad, to be honest. Okay. You do have the Knight of Pentacles. So you move with caution, but you also move with logic for the most part. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles and then the Sun in reverse. So you have this energy of nothing lasts forever, but that won't stop you from enjoying the moment. I think that you are so caught up in yourself. You're so confident, let's just say conceited, that, and I don't think it's conceited. I think it's really confidence, but you know your value so much that if things don't work out in relationships, you don't sit there and soap about it. You don't let that stop you. Now, at home in the nighttime, do you get emotional? Yeah, everybody does. But at the same time, you're not gonna make yourself cry over spilled milk. Why would you do that? You know, you are just like, I am too much of an amazing person to let silly things get to me. I am a person who is able to bounce back very easily for the most part. And I'm a person where things don't go wrong. I mean, when things don't go right, I wait for it. You know, so it's just like if one door closed on you, you don't stick around and be sad. You be like, you know what, I'm gonna turn away, walk away. I'm gonna try this door over here, you know. But what you're not gonna do is you're gonna sit there and wait for people to make you feel better. Absolutely not. You know your value, you know your life, you know your purpose. And you have this energy of, I'm gonna stick things through if it's worthy to me. Your happiness is what makes you thrive and make you a better person. You prioritize your happiness, and while your partner's happiness is important to you, you won't let it be the second. You know, like you're not going to prioritize their happiness over yours. you have done that in the past and you have lost yourself, but it's just like you're now grown, you're now wiser, and you're just like, I shouldn't have to sacrifice within relationships. I will negotiate, but I'm not going to sacrifice. I'm definitely going to sacrifice myself. Absolutely not, right? Let's see, anything else you need to know about yourself that you don't know. So pile 4, how does pile 4 not see themselves but others do? What are the qualities? We have the Emperor card. Something about your feelings is not the best. You're not really emotional. You thrive with structure for the most part. You are a go-getter because the Emperor card is the energy of business, entrepreneurship, but it's also Aries energy. So you get up and go. You don't wait around. You take what's yours and keep it pushing. And we have a theme of purple. Lots of purple coming up for you. What else? What else should pile 4 know? We have the 3 of Swords. Aw, you have been heartbroken a lot. You have been through a lot mentally. But I feel like you're so detached, you know? You try to make things from a logical perspective. So maybe you're very good with CBT or DBT, but you really process your emotions in a very logical way. You don't hold on to it. The 7 of Cups. Sometimes you feel like you don't have the best options in life, but I guess that's why you're so hyper independent for the most part. Because why sit around waiting for somebody to give you something when you could just have it yourself? You could take it, you know? You're not really a person who's big on handouts. You like to create opportunities for yourself. What else? What else, Spirit? We do have the Moon card. Something about you that's hiding something. You know, it's an energy of fearful, but you're not scared to show up as yourself. But I also feel like sometimes you wear a mask and wear a mask very good. And sometimes people see you wearing that mask, but they don't really judge you because they understand everybody has a story. So maybe your story is very powerful. I feel like this energy is your energy of your subconscious. I just want to give you a hug. I'm just going to say that if you're going through a hard time right now, just know that you are loved and you don't always have to be strong. It's okay for you to process, you know, sadness, grief, and guilt in your own unique way. You are human going through a human experience and you're doing the best that you could for yourself. Okay? So even though people may not show up for you the way that you may want, and maybe if you feel like you're always the go-to person for everybody else, just know that there's value to your life. Okay? And let's get one more messages for you. We have the 3 of Pentacles, 3 and 3. Interesting. So you're able to work with everybody and anybody. You respect people. You treat everybody fair and impartial for the most part. You don't let people's status get to you because once again, you know that you're the baddest, right? You know that you're the best. You know what you have to offer and what you bring to the table. So pile number 4, know your worth and continue to raise the bar. Don't lower yourself to anybody. You are loyalty and you are regal. So don't forget that and don't think that you're not. Okay. So that's what I have for you, pile number 4. If you want more details about how your energy is showing up that you don't realize, I am taking private readings and you could book. All the information will be in the description box. Until next time, remember who loves you. Bye.